My challenge for you this morning is 3 things. Number 1, resolve to have joy. God's will for us is to be joyful. And all of us long to experience more joy in life, don't we? It's a universal desire. All people, we want to experience more joy, more hope, more love, more things in life that bring us joy. But if we're honest, life consistently throws up roadblocks in our joy. Consistently will put things in your path, in your journey, that seem to be circumstances, challenges, and disappointments that seem to stand in the way of our joy. Now, we might experience brief moments, fleeting moments of joy, but then we get distracted chasing after all the temporary things that seem to bring happiness, but never last and never satisfy. And there's a difference between happiness and joy. These are not the same things. And our culture and our society will tell us that they're the same, but Paul tells us something radical for the church: to be joyful always. Not just when life is good, not just when we feel like it, but just like to be thankful in all circumstances, to be joyful or to rejoice always. And that's the sticking point for most of us, if we're honest. We're good at being joyful when things are good. We're good at being joyful when it makes sense. We can celebrate and thank God when it makes sense, but to be joyful always, in all things, in all circumstances, in all seasons, that means that in good times, we choose joy. And one of our core values here at Discovery Church is that we choose joy. Why do we word it that way? Because joy is it's a choice. It's a decision that you make to position your heart in a place of joy that is birthed out of the presence of God. So in the good times, we choose joy. But guess what? In the bad times, we choose joy. When everything in our life seems to make sense and we can connect all the dots and we see what God is doing, we choose joy. But in times when we can't see from one dot to the next and we don't feel the hand of God, and we don't see the path that God has, we choose joy. When we're healthy and when we're sick, we choose joy. When the finances are overflowing, and let's be honest, when everything and even to tithe seems like a stretch, we still choose joy. Paul is calling us to resolve, to make up our mind, to make the decision, to set our heart on the commitment to have joy. Well, how is this possible? How can I have joy when things aren't good? How can I have joy when life is a struggle? How can I have joy when I have a diagnosis that is depressing? How can I have joy when it seems like everything in my life is going against me, like I'm paddling upstream? Have you ever felt this way? When life feels like you're in a boat and you're paddling against the current, and no matter what you do, it feels like there is no progress being made. Let me clarify what Paul means. Before we unpack what being joyful means, let me clarify this. Paul's not telling us that you should be happy all the time. There's going to be real moments of struggle, real moments of pain, real moments of doubt, real moments of question and uncertainty. And Paul's not saying to be happy all the time. Paul's not saying that you should disregard the reality of your circumstance. But what he is saying is that joy is deeper than your happiness. Joy comes from a place in your soul. It's not rooted in circumstance, but it's rooted in something greater. Oswald Chambers says it this way, that happiness depends on what happens, joy does not. Happiness is a result of what is happening around you, but joy comes from a place deep within you. Another way it's been said that happiness is a feeling, but joy is an attitude, a posture, a position, a place where you commit to say, God, your joy will be my strength. Let me give you a couple of things that I can guarantee you will not give you joy. Money and material possessions will never bring you joy. They may bring you contentment or they may bring you comfort for a moment, but they will not buy you contentment. Success and recognition will not bring you joy. In fact, success and recognition, the majority of the time, will bring you more weight, more pressure, and more struggle. And it is, just as Nehemiah says, it is the joy of the Lord that will give you strength to endure the challenges that you've been called to. Let me give you this one. This is for all the married people, and especially if you're young and you're dating or engaged, the perfect relationship will never bring you joy. You know why? Because the perfect relationship does not exist. It is not there. And if you're sitting there and you're like, well, you just don't know us, we found it. There's a couple of people on the front row that are our marriage ministry leaders. I'd love to introduce you to them, and they're going to help you realize that you are lying to yourself. Am I right? Amen. There is no perfect relationship. But here's what often happens, and this is why so many marriages are under so much tension and relationships are broken and strained, is because we are looking to fill the place that the joy of the Lord, the void in our soul that only His joy can fill. And in our search for that, we place that expectation on another human being, and it's a God-sized void that a human can never fill. And inevitably when we do this, that person will let us down, will disappoint us because we're expecting them to do something they were never meant to do. Your significant other cannot fulfill God's role in your life. Their job is not to fulfill you. Their job is to be a partner with you in life. God is the only one that can fulfill you. A relationship will never bring you joy. Physical appearance will never give you joy, no amount of beauty, no amount of weight you can lose, or how fit you can be, or how good you can feel about yourself. It will never bring you joy. It's fleeting. It's a feeling. Escaping through media, television, social media, temporary distractions will never fill the void within. And while they might bring temporary happiness, any of these things can bring you temporary happiness and feeling for a moment, it will always leave you wanting more instead of feeling satisfied. And joy is a result of a choice. It's a resolve, a decision to trust God and focus on Him no matter what. To focus on what matters most. To focus on the things of God. To focus on His Word. To focus on His presence, His plan, His way. To focus on things above. Joy comes when we fix our eyes on Jesus and we focus on the things above. Listen, as long as your eyes are fixed on the things below, joy will elude you. But when you fix your eyes on Jesus, Hebrews chapter 12 says, fixing our eyes on Him who for the what? The joy set before Him endured the cross. When we fix our eyes above and not below, we can experience the joy. Joy isn't found in what happens around us. It is found in the one who sustains us. Joy comes from Jesus. He is the source. And today we can have confidence that His joy will strengthen us, will equip us, and will give us the ability to lift our eyes and focus on Him, even in the middle of the struggle.